Sharma ji will achieve it. In drones, as Sharma ji told, Dr. Sharma, you send me the papers. I've read everything. I know what sort of drones are there, and I'm thankful for giving me such intensive knowledge. Thank you very much.
Sir, I remember the time when you excited our imaginations in 2014-15, and when we conducted our first convocation of Amity University, Haryana. I remember drone delivered the first gold medal to be awarded actually at the convocation. And that was the beginning of our excitement that yes, it can be done, it can be delivered without any trouble and with precision and with all necessary.
And Mr. Padmakali ji, welcome to this.
Padmakali, I wanted to greet you. If you are there, we are happy.
Hello, good evening, sir. It is a great privilege to be with you on this platform, and great initiative that I think we can take it forward and take this aspect also into the curriculum delivery also as well.
And Professor M.S. Prasad, Dr. Sanjay Singh, Colonel Kapoor, you people are the ones who are going to take forward these initiatives under the blessings of Founder President. So let us listen to him and how we can build a sustainable partnership with Mr. Professor Prasad is also playing a role in formulating policies for the country, for the drone policy. Yes. So you can reflect on some of those during the deliberations, maybe after the presentation.
Professor Prasad and Colonel Kapoor, both
sir, it's 3:58, so can we go live, sir?
Welcome.
Yeah, I think you can go live. Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
My Honorable Chancellor would also be joining. He spoke a minute ago, and I'm sure Honorable Chairperson is also desirous that this program should also be seen by the children of the MIT school, international schools. So hopefully some of them will join, although today happened to be a holiday. We would pick up another date for a bigger program for drone once again when great many people can join, but still I'm sure I'm hoping that this program will be very well attended by both the people who are working in the area of drone design and development, and also by the younger community, which need to be sensitized and excited about the newer science and technologies which will drive the growth and development of tomorrow's economies around the world. From drone, we learn a lot otherwise to understand how to design systems which can operate without any human interference and in an autonomous way. And this is an area which provides tremendous amount of learning, of course.
Namaskar. First of all, hearty welcome to our beloved Founder President, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, sir, for this webinar on drone and civil applications, which is being organized as the inaugural event under the umbrella of Mission Drone. Honorable Founder President is a source of eternal inspiration for all of us at Amity Universe. With his blessings and vision, all the campuses of Amity Universities have grown leaps and bounds and have been identified as the most sought by the students for their higher education. Founder President has imbibed the relentless working culture among all of us. Sir, hearty welcome to you, and we seek your blessings for the success of the events planned. Our Honorable Chancellor of AUH, Dr. Asim Chauhan, will be joining us. And Dr.
He has joined. He has already joined.
I would not do this program without my being here. It is a wonderful thing you have organized. Please carry on.
Thank you.
Very, very warm welcome to Honorable Chancellor, sir. Your inspiration and your guidance provide tremendous amount of euphoria and create eternal connect and eternal interest, in fact, in pushing technology beyond the conceivable and imaginable limits for our
welcome, Dr. Asimji.
Delighted to have you.
Namaskar, welcome.
Honorable Chancellor Achib Chauhan has carved AUH as Innovation and Research University. His observations on minute details and his vision for leading the institutions to march ahead of time is a wonder for all of us. Sir, hearty welcome to you once again for this event.
Great. And Dr. Sridhar, I congratulate you. Founder President is so busy, he can only go to 1 out of 10 webinars. But the fact that he has come for your drone webinar, you must have really created a very good program. So we are so happy that Founder President is online today.
Thank you, sir. Blessings, sir. Welcome to Professor W. Selvamurthy, President ASTIF, whose age never grows. His thoughts and vision are always on run towards betterment and innovation. Dr. Selvamurthy sir has rekindled the spark for another phase of Mission Drone at Amity Sir, hearty welcome to you once again.
Thank you.
Hearty welcome to Professor P.B. Sharma, Honorable Vice Chancellor, AUH, for this event. Our Vice Chancellor is a constant source of inspiration for all activities at AUH. Sir, welcome once again for this event. Professor Padmakali Banerjee, Pro Vice Chancellor and Dean of Academics, AUH, is also present for today's event. Madam's innovation in curriculum design and pedagogy has placed AUH at high level. Madam, welcome to you for this event. We also have here DG AFSIA, Dr. Rajiv Sharma sir, Director AISSD AUP, Professor MS Prasad, Director AIAE AUP, Dr. Sanjay Singh, Director Academics AUP, Colonel R.K. Kapoor. Welcome to all the eminent luminaries present here. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome my former PG student and today's speaker, Mr. Ramjan Patan, and I will introduce him to the attendees at a later time. We also welcome VCs, Pro Vice Chancellors, and authorities of all campuses of Amity University, including those from Dubai campus, principals of Amity International Universities, faculty and students of Amity University, and other invited attendees from other universities across the nation. Now I invite our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor P.B. Sharma, to give opening remark for this event. Sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, I join Dr. S.N. Sridhara in extending a very warm welcome to each one of you, especially to our motivator and our visionary leader, Honorable Founder President Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, who is sparing his highly valuable time to be with us in this very important webinar. Mission Drone is close to the heart of our Honorable Founder President. A very warm welcome to you, sir. Very warm welcome to our Honorable Chancellor, Dr. C.M. Chauhan, and all the senior members of the Amity group present here, including Professor Dr. Silva Murthy, Dr. Padmakali Banerjee, Colonel Kapoor, Professor Prasad, and many of our heads and deans who are joining this very important webinar, along with the young inspired minds who want to really take the technology and science of drone much forward. For people like me, drone is perhaps the perfect example of what we often call integrative science, which means all sciences together can be put together in designing and development of drones. So it's a perfect example of integrative science and also a perfect example of multidisciplinary engineering. And that is where all engineering comes in, whether it is mechanical, aeronautical, whether it is material science and technology, whether it is communication technology, whether it is artificial intelligence, whether it is machine learning, and the newer systems of GPS-enabled and GIS-enabled autonomous systems, automation, everything comes in. And therefore, drone is a perfect example of integrative science and multidisciplinary engineering. Having said this, let me say that drone is not just merely a means of monitoring or doing surveillance or doing some deliveries, but in fact, it is a great technological advancement which powers advancement of technology in very many other sectors. We all know that autonomous systems are becoming more and more important today. We all want to have a car which will be a driverless car and will, without precision, take us from one location to another. Tomorrow you will have, in fact, already fly-by-wire aeroplanes are there. Tomorrow autonomous systems will do this. We will require autonomous system for surveillance of our borders and coastal areas, but also for a whole lot of civil applications where we will deliver the drugs and medicines and also monitor from with precision happenings as well as developments in various project activities around. So I think the applications are growing, and this is one of the areas in which Amity has taken a lead long ago. I remember 2015, and at the convocation, first convocation of Amity University, Haryana, the first gold medal was in fact delivered to the Honorable Chancellor's hand by using a drone inside the pandal. At the time, of course, technology was not as advanced as it today, but it happened with perfection, and we were also delighted. Thereafter, of course, a lot of development had taken place. Our own students and faculty members are greatly excited and engaged in design and development of drones, and we would work together along with our mission drone teams in various institutions of Amity, as well as universities within India as well as abroad, and will work for ensuring that the dream of our founder president, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, that Amity should play a highly meaningful role in empowering India in the area of science and technology of tomorrow's drones. And that is one dream and vision which Honorable Founder President has. And I'm indeed very delighted that Mr. Ramjan Patan, the founder of Lightning Drones and also Managing Director of Aerorotor Innovative Solutions, is here with us to share his highly valuable experience of designing, developing, and deployment of drones, a variety of drones for civil applications. From your webinar today, we would like to understand how to go forward and really put together designs which will mesmerize the imagination of people and will certainly deliver a much bigger promise for the drones, both in the civil as well as in defense applications. With these opening remarks, ladies and gentlemen, let me finish by saying that Amity University system as a whole is driven by the vision of the Honorable Founder President, where each Amity University has to be a research and innovation driven university. And that is where I think the differentiator comes, where every member of Amity, whether he is a student or a faculty, is to be deeply committed and excited about the integration of research and innovation in education. And that is precisely what is happening in our Amity University, and that makes us a class apart. With these opening remarks, may I take this opportunity to extend a very warm welcome to all our esteemed members of the Amity Education Group connected to this very important webinar, and extend a warm welcome from Amity University, Haryana, for each one of you. May I go back to now Dr. Sridhara to steer the webinar further. I think we should request our Honorable Founder President, sir, to say a few words, or Honorable Chancellor, sir, to say a few words before we go to the speaker, introducing the speaker in a formal manner. Honorable Chancellor AUS, sir, over to you for your opening remarks before I request the Honorable Founder President to take it forward.
Professor Sharma, I do not think this is a technical webinar, highly interesting. I'm looking forward to hearing every word. I do not think I would like to share any remarks as of now, except for the fact that we at Amity are, of course, dedicated to interdisciplinary and translational research. So all of the research happening in our labs, we want to go and have utilized in applications that can change mankind, humanity, and society. And therefore, the discussion around drones is very important, because there is no limit to the kinds of applications that drones can be utilized for, from medical services to surveillance and strategic issues, defense, logistics, supply chain. So endless, number of applications. And we have to think about the work that we're doing within our labs and universities in partnership with Mr. Ramjan and others who are the topmost thinkers in this area. How can we collaborate and work together to really have an impact and take this forward? I think there is an aspect of regulation also, and the permits and permissions that have to be framed properly in the country to allow for drones to truly reach their full potential. But I'm very excited, and I congratulate Dr. Sridhar, who is our Director Asset, as well as all of our other senior people at AUH, that you are pushing the boundaries on new ideas and new thoughts. And Professor Baby Sharma, you rightfully mentioned that at our first convocation, when drones were not yet a buzzword, a drone had brought the first gold medal to be given off the university. And from that day itself, we had set the standard that our university will be technology, innovation, and research driven and oriented. And we look forward to this deliberation. Founder President, would you, sir, like to say something before we begin?
Sir, we would welcome the blessings of Founder President, sir, right in at the start of the webinar, sir. Founder President, sir, over to you.
And Founder, if you can please unmute, if we can unmute Founder President, please. Yes. Yes.
After Asimji has spoken, I need not to speak. The son's worthiness shows the worthiness of the father. It's wonderful, but I must tell you, I'm so excited to listen our Mr. Pathanji. I'm so excited. After that, I'll speak. After I've heard the whole lecture, then I'll speak a lot.
Okay. Sridhar, please continue.
Sir, before I start with Mr. Ramjan Pathan, I request Dr. Selvamurthy sir, President ASTF, to present a note on mission drone, so that we'll get an introduction of that, and then we'll start with Ramjan Pathan.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr. Sridhar. The founder president, he makes many missions. And this is one of the missions which he started 2 years ago when he actually visited Amity University, Haryana. he not only saw this drone giving this gold medal, but he saw the demonstration of many of the small varieties of the unmanned aerial vehicle display and also demonstrated to him. Then he said we should start a mission in Amity Group on the mission drone. So this was a message given to him, a mission promulgated by him at that point of time. Then immediately we gave the responsibility to Amity University, Haryana, since Professor B.V. Sharma himself has started the mission in Delhi Technological University earlier. When I had the opportunity of seeing that. So we started this mission, and now it is time for us to fully activate, gear up, and bring many innovations. Because whenever he starts a mission, he has a long-term vision that this mission should lead to development, not only of the technologies, products, but also the capacity building. We will need a large number of people who will operate drones. So you need pilots, drone pilots. You need drone traffic regulators, because who will be regulating the traffic over a period of time when it picks up. So founder president, when he announces a mission, he has many things in mind. That is how one is R&D development of drones. And I had the opportunity of talking to Mr. Ramjan Pradhan just about an hour ago. So we were understanding what all capabilities. I was amazed to see the kind of the applications he has already made for land survey mapping, hazard assessment, solar farms, and windmill mapping. So he has already applied, and it's a big company. He has now 11 people working with this company, and he is looking for partnership with Amity in a big way. And this Lightning Drones India, as well as the Aerotor Innovative Solutions, both have a very big root, and he himself has been mentored by Dr. Sridhar. Today, the world market is $22.5 billion US is the drones market today. And in another 5 years, it is going to grow to $42.8 billion US, which is 13.8 CAGR. And the Asian market is the most important market in the global market is the Asian market. So that is why we have a lot of opportunity, and I'm sure that we will all move towards, as has been mentioned by the Chancellor, Dr. Asim Chauhan. Immediately he sanctioned 3 lakhs to build the basic infrastructure. As soon as founder announced the mission, he gave that input, go ahead, and he has already, due to this corona problems, that we couldn't start that. Otherwise, a program was organized at the AUH for the capacity building and to build the club. So now it is time for us. We will start this program, and we are looking forward to a very long-lasting partnership with this great person, Mr. Ramdan, a young dynamic leader, which I admire. And so once again, compliments to Professor P.B. Sharma as well as Dr. Sridhar for having taken this initiative to take forward this mission announced by founder president. We are expecting that this mission will churn out many new technologies which will find application in agriculture, medical, law and order, police force, mob control, land survey, solar farms, windmill mapping, and also search and rescue operations in forest or avalanche. So there are many applications, and also in surveillance and reconnaissance in military, which is being used. In DRDO, we have developed first Lakshya, then Nishant, then Rustum. We have a family of the drones have been developed for military applications. Now they are looking at combat drone, where you can just put missiles into that and then launch it over there. Or instead of aircraft launched, so we can have air-to-air Astra missile linked with that. So we are looking at many applications. Now, in fact, US has developed a big drone which can drop a tank, that kind of payload. So I'm sure that Amity will contribute both for military as well as civilian defense application. Compliments to you, Dr. Sridhar, and we depend on you as a mission director to many results to come out of this. Over to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for this opening remark. I will give a brief introduction of the speaker. Mr. Ramjan Pradhan is the founder of Lightning Drones India and MD, Aerotor Innovative Solutions Private Limited. He obtained his graduation in aeronautical engineering in 2009 and master's in rotating machinery design, that is turbo machinery, in 2011 from Coventry University, UK, with MS Ramaiah School of Advanced Studies, Bangalore as nodal center. He had bright academic background throughout and secured 27th rank in the GATE in 2011 at All India level. He is also pursuing PhD in bird aerodynamics, and he has designed and developed an RC flapper also. He later worked as assistant professor at MSR SAS for 4 years and taught many courses related to conceptual design of aircraft and computational fluid. He has also set up a dedicated lab for aerial vehicles at MSR SAS, which is considered as unique in the country. He has supervised 23 master theses from aircraft design and automotive engineering and completed 4 research projects under National Program for Micro Air Vehicles. And the National Design and Research Forum, NDRF, has honored him with the title Technical Advisor. Ramjan Patan has been offered for the post of Chief Executive Officer, Andhra Pradesh Drone Corporation, a subsidiary company of APSFL, Andhra Pradesh. His company has provided service for various civil applications of drones and provided solutions to cinematography, forest surveillance, electrical transmission line inspection, solar PV modules, thermography, and wind turbine blade monitoring. Mr. Ramjan Patan was my student. I am proud to say that he was my student at MSR SAS while he was studying for his master degree, and I remember him as a student with focus on practical approach and is highly innovative. With his introduction, I am sure he is the right choice as a resource person to deliver the first webinar as the opening activity under the umbrella of Mission Drone. Over to Mr. Ramjan Patan.
Thank you very much for all dignitaries. Basically, it's my great pleasure that Dr. Sridhara, who was my HOD when I was studying my MTech, he is introducing me here in this big platform. I'm really appreciate all the words from dignitaries, basically from founder president here, who is joining this particular my webinar. Even we have chancellor, vice chancellors here, head of several departments, R&D department, W. Selvamurthy sir. As P.B. Sharma sir started saying that this particular drone industry or drone development is integratory science, or like you can say interdisciplinary science actually it is. The same way you can see in this particular industry, you require the background of almost all the sciences or all the engineering which we are generally learning. So when we are talking to the students now, I hope several students are already joined here. So I warm welcome everybody and start with my this presentation for you all. This particular presentation is made in keep in mind all the students and their further career. As R&D head told already that we are definitely looking forward for such a great relationship with Amity University and Lightning Drones as a further partnership for developing drones and then using them at several places, at several applications. We are looking forward for such a great partnership. Shall I start with the presentation now? I will share my screen with a presentation. I hope you can see my screen.
Yeah, visible. Go ahead, Ramjan.
Super. Thank you. So I start with the same poster which Dr. Sridhara has made for this particular webinar, that is Mission Drone of Amity Universe. I really thankful to Dr. Sridhara that he has introduced me for such a great event actually, and then they are kicking off drone mission at Amity University. Going further, for this particular day, the presentation which I have, the overview of that particular presentation is to introduce unmanned air vehicle or drones, different applications and types of UAVs, the journey which we had done in under Lightning Drones since 2015 to 2020 now, development of UAVs and how to design it and then how to make it and all, and future trends in the same UAVs. And hopefully all the students are interested in the career opportunities in this particular industry, as this is growing so fastly, exponentially. As sir just told that this industry is, as if now itself, it is $22+ billion USD, and which is in next 5 years, it is becoming double. So definitely all the students should look for this presentation. Regarding introduction to UAVs, As everybody knows now, UAVs, that is unmanned aerial vehicle or unmanned aerial systems, which generally people call as drone, are the flying robots. These robots can be operated manually, or today the main focus is on autonomous drones. That is, they can fly autonomously. They can fly alone, or they can fly in the group of UAVs, or maybe they can fly with manned flying vehicles, or maybe manned unmanned surface vehicles, that is UGVs, or even on the ships, ground vehicles, or underwater vehicles. So UAVs can be flown alone, or they can fly in a group of UAVs or group of UAVs, or you can say autonomous systems. So that is what is UAV today standing. They are flying with several other systems. Drones can be of any size. They can be of size of on the top of palm, like as small as like in mm, or maybe they can be size of jumbo jets. According to their applications and missions, they are being made or being built or being customized for several applications today in industry. So these machines are being used in almost every sector, starting with the surveillance on the international borders, or even in the spraying in the farm. It is being used in visual inspections of wind turbine blades, or even they are being used in emergency medicines to be placed or to be sent in remote places of Africa. They are being used in cinematography very heavily, and they are being used in monitoring of illegal poaching or illegal wood cutting or anything in forests. So Lightning drone is being a part of this entire journey here. We have introduced several drone applications like electrical tower inspections in movies, documentaries, advertisement, factories, industrial inspections. Now you can see this all here. We have actually put it in some photographs. These all photographs are from Lightning drone. We are not used any Google image here. So you can see the applications which generally we are going with, like electrical inspections, like big towers we can inspect with a drone. As the first objective, that is to make the staff's life secure. That is the first objective which it was there in our mind. So we are actually standing very much away from the electric line, which are live lines actually, and then just sending our drone, which is a flying object, close to the tower. That is also the away from the magnetic interference of the tower, and then it is zooming in the particular component and then taking the images. That is what we do in electrical inspections, that is a close inspections. Then we have drone thermography, where we have very high-end thermography camera, that is an IR sensor. So with that high-end IR sensor, we do thermography for electrical lines, even for solar panels, wind turbines, and several other applications which I show further. Wind turbine inspections, as I explained you before, like wind turbines are so huge, going above and then doing the inspection is not at all possible generally. So that is why drones are being used there. 360 VR videography, this is very new area which is coming up in the market, where we are putting 360 big gimbal on the drone and then flying over the object and then doing the videography. And UAV mapping, where we can do the survey or mapping of very big area like 100, 200, 1,000, more than 1,000 acres of land. That is where we are working with. Other than these applications, I will just go ahead and show you. These are the places where we had worked already. These are our proud partners or proud clients where we have worked. I hope many of you are knowing most of the clients over here. They are big names. To bring the interest among the students, basically, we had worked a lot in Bollywood and Hollywood industry, which you can see here, few of the names. I'll show you from more details further. As of now, we had worked in so many places across India. We never got a chance actually to go abroad, but definitely we are looking forward for, and we are talking to a few of the clients. But these are the places where we had worked across the country. And now I hope this will create a quick interest in all the students who are there sitting. I hope it won't be bored for you this entire session. These are the places where we had used our drone. There are several movies and several advertisements. I hope many of you are naming them now. I'll go ahead. This is one of the places where most of the work we are doing, and where actually drones are doing fantastic work according to the client and according to the entire drone industry. you can see our pilots are flying and they are doing the inspection of big tower and then small power lines, which are charged actually. Those lines are already charged or already taking the current over there. Previously, in a classical way, what they used to do is like they ask to climb somebody, like generally all the skilled labor, they used to climb the tower and then they used to see whether there is problem or not problem and all. And then they has to come down and report to the engineer over there. But because of this particular drone technology, you can stand away from the line and then you can fly drone and you can capture the what are the data you required at every point and then give to the results. I will show few of the results which will create interest again. Now you can see the very close inspections of transmission line. This is 400 kV line actually, which is very huge, where generally tower size will be somewhere 50 to 60 meter and few places it will be more than that. So you can see the close photograph which we have taken, the first photograph I hope you can see, where you can see even there is R pin missing or like one small pin we generally call as quarter pin or R pin. That pin is missing over there that you can find out from there. Similarly, the right side photo in the frame that shows you how that arcing horn is actually being loose at the junction, and because of that it is actually having a contact with the live conductor and it is started burning the conductor over there. So these kind of observations you may not get when people are climbing over and then doing this all job, and that was very much laborious job, and most of the line in India it is not being or not has monitored properly. So we are the company who has initiated this and then doing very extensively across India actually. Now you can see something else that is on the left side, you can see some of again more problems in small line, and right side or below the frame, you can see thermography results. That is how you can spot the temperature with your thermal camera. You can see some spot 1, spot 2, spot 3, the different temperatures in the screen. Similarly, on the right side above, there is a line we had actually put on the GIS. We are using some software as Google Map and all, and creating, we are digitizing the old lines, which are like somewhere 20, 30 years ago they had installed, and they also don't know where this line are going. So this is what a job generally we are doing with electric lines. Going further, this was a 155-meter high tower inside the creek. This was a torrent work in somewhere in Gujarat. You can see some people were working there, but they wanted, the company wanted to see whether they are really doing the correct job or they want to do the monitoring. That monitoring may not be possible with the people again climb and do it. So with drone, it was very much easy. And then one of our pilot was flying through the boat actually. Means like they were standing on the top of boat and then they were flying this. This was really amazing work which our pilots had done. Going further, as I explained to you before, that drone thermography with solar plants. So we are using drones to inspect the plants. As if now today we have somewhere 35 gigawatt of installation in India. Out of that, somewhere 3.5 gigawatt of work or inspections are done by Lightning drone already. You can see few of the images how these plants look like through through IR camera. You can see at the center image, there is a hotspot at 1, which can definitely tell you that there is a problem, which kind of problem our SMEs will find out. Such kind of things our teams are doing on the daily basis. Similarly, we can find out the few more problems like broken panels and even connectors failures, or you can say the loose connector, burnt connectors. So with the drone itself, we don't require to go down. These are the few of the samples which we have done for validation work, and that is as shown here. Similarly, wind turbine inspections. So we can do wind turbine inspections with the same drone. We can fly drones close to the turbine blade and zoom it on the particular point and then take the images. You can see here what I'm talking about, the zooming. In the first, that is 1x, where my drone is just standing and then looking at the turbine blade. Whereas we can go further and see how close we can inspect from the same location. That is what is a beauty in the using this kind of sensors on the drone. You can see the results with this particular sensor. You can see the sensor at the center and different kind of problems in the wind turbine. These are the problems which we had noted with thermography. You can see on the left side, there is one kink in the turbine blade, which is not seen with the naked eye, or you can see the visual inspection, but can be seen with the thermography. This is quite good work actually has done by Lightning Drones and has been appreciated by the clients. You can see some more inspections with gimbal has mounted on the top of the drone, and we can fly below the asset and then do the inspections like breach inspections, where we have done both the thermal and visual inspections mounted like this. Similarly, we can use this kind of technology to inspect each and every bolt and nut in the structures or lattice, you can say. There are different kind of lattices are used in communication tower, even in wind turbine towers. There are several examples. Like the same way we have done already chimney inspections for a few of the factories, which I can't show it here. Now you can see the clients for this particular industry inspection work. NTPC is one of the main client where we are inspecting almost all the asset over there. Similarly, we had very innovative work, got it from Toyota Auto. They wanted to inspect their roofs of all the plant before monsoon and after monsoon, which they used to do with a person climbing on the ladder and then going on the top of the roof, which is very, very critical. And a few of the places there was an injury to the person. So this was very good work and appreciated by the industry. This is something close to the civil application, where we are creating map out of the images taken by the drone. This is images are image processed, stitched, and create this particular 2D and 3D georeferencing maps. You can see the several applications for the same again. This is the team, how they work on the ground, and several different kind of equipments they use on the ground. These are from the sites, few of the images. To just showcase one of the case study where we have done work for ISI, that is for Warangal Fort, where you can see UAV mapping for settlement marking, road marking, contours, identification of monuments, water bodies, electrical poles, trees, features. This is a very new approach to land survey, and where we can do at very fast rate. Now you can see the same image which has taken by Google satellite, this thing that can be converted like this with a drone mapping. Now you can, if I'll just focus or zoom inside the image, which is the final output with CAD drawing. This is AutoCAD drawing actually. If I'll zoom it at the small portion, you can see how it is look like. You can see each and individual house with their compound wall, their roads, all the electrical lines or telephone lines. And then on the top of that, there are contours and levels which are actually implemented. This entire data has been created and submitted with drone imagery. So this was one of the successful project which was directly done for ISI, Archaeological Survey of India. ISI. Similarly, we can do corridor mapping. In the corridor mapping on the right side, you can see the corridor has been taken with the KML has been given by the client. And at particular location, we can take the cross section and take the several points, like 11 points has been taken here. And those points can be reflected here with the data sheet. With Excel sheet, you can find X, Y, Z, that is the elevation. And then profile for the elevation. So this is also has done for several clients now. And we are regularly using drones for this particular application, where we can fly drone, collect the data, stitch them in the backend, and create these contours, and then further post-processing for according to the application from the client. These are the several projects which we have done for UAV mapping. Some of the glimpse out of that is shown here. On the left side bottom, you can see we can actually find the canopy height also. but it should be means like such requirements supposed to be posed, and then only we can do. We require to do some more work in this. But this is done purely with drone imagery. On the right side, you can see we had used drone imagery photogrammetry to replicate the old temples and find out the dimensions and created the 3D objects out of that. This is a very new approach. As previously I had showed you IR camera and then mapping both. Now here there is a multispectral camera where we can see multispectral camera can be given. It's like it can take. It has actually 5 cameras which has different bandwidth, and this bandwidth can be replicated and used to find out the calorific value, and then your DSM, NDRE, NDVI, RGB, CIR. These kind of maps we can actually convert out from the post-processing results. This we are putting again on the drone and then creating such kind of maps. It's like we are taking multispectral data and then stitching it together, which can be used for finding the yield or maybe some kind of further disease in the farming. This is in very novice or initial stage. So definitely we can further work with this area. As we had spoken before also, Lightning Drones has been working with Forest Department. This was a noted work from Yavatmal, that is in Maharashtra, where man-eater tigress was there. And we required to find her across like 160 square kilometer of area. So there my team was working day night, like in daytime my visual team was working and they were using different exposure to find out within the forest area. And in night they were using IR cameras to fly the drone and finding the different animals until rabbit, means like the small animal as small as rabbit we had find out with this images. Which was 2 kilometers away from the place where we were standing. So this was a work done in our. Still we had done other works with Maharashtra Department for illegal poaching and then wood cutting and smuggling and all those things. So these are the regular work which we are doing with the Forest Department. These were the applications and the different types of drone which we are using or being used in the industry today. Now I want to take this particular discussion for the students and a few of the employees and teachers who are actually interested in development of UAVs. I always feel that the final product which are coming or like we are looking forward to is always start with your requirement and capability of team. If these two are coming together, then you have to find out the material which is available in market, and then all this together will give you the final product. Like I'll show you a few of the examples which are done in the Lightning drone, how we are done. This was one of the projects which we are done in 2017. What happened, the problem statement was in 2014, there was 400 migratory flamingo birds died in Kutch, Gujarat. What happened, because of PGCL has erected very new line, which was 400 kV, near the Kutch area. And that line, they had 3 parallel lines over going there. And those towers were so huge, like 76 meter of tower was there. So these migratory birds were coming from Europe and they couldn't actually find out the earth wire, which is like just 12 mm in diameter. And that was like 8 meters away from the nearest conductor. Like I hope many of the electrical guys know how the structure of the tower. So generally it will be like you have conductors. If you have multi-circuit tower, then you have several conductors, and then on the top of the tower there will be earth line. So that earth line was very, very small and was there was no visual signature. And this poor flamingo birds was flying so far, and then they wanted to come to Kutch. So they were going and hitting this particular wire, and then they were falling on the live wire. And this was very big issue actually, because 400 flamingos were died on that year. So there was simple solution which PGCL came up with. What they had bought is like they had one small bird flight deflector, one small circle. I will show you in the next slide. That deflector, they wanted to just put it on the top of earth line. So definitely these birds will see that and they will deflect or divert their flight and go above and then go further. So this was very unique and very good idea. And but the main situation was line was already erected and line was charged, and they didn't want to stop it. So what we did in Lightning Drone is like we had developed one UAV which can carry this marker and fly over and go close to that particular earth wire and then place it, or like you can say install it on the live earth line. So this we have done in 2017, and we had created such two identical systems. It was look like this. The left side you can see there is a bird flight deflector, which was something like that. And then we had developed one drone from the existing material available in market, and we had done a lot of trials and then testing for this. Almost 6 months we were doing this, and then finally we had created the Turbo 2. We had given the name Turbo because there was one movie of Snail has one big antenna on the top. So looking like that, this particular drone we were using to install the deflectors. You can see at the bottom there was a dummy line, and we had done this work for one of the client in Maharashtra. Something unique, I know that almost everybody has seen some other drones like multi-copter and then fixed wing and all, but I wanted to show something different here today. That is a flapping wing UAVs. You can see on the top there are the CAD models developed with several design analysis, and final CAD model has been replicated in actual prototype of gearbox and then final model of flapping wing. I will show you the small video. I hope everybody can see this. So you can see here that this flapping wing has been attached to the thread, and then we had just used a small throttle of 30%, and this flapper started flying on its own. I know that it is actually hanging because of that, because of the centrifugal force also it is going away. But yeah, we have demonstrated this flapper. There is no propeller had been used. We could reach to the getting thrust and lift, but we couldn't control this flapper, so it was hanging actually. These are the few notable projects which we have done at the Lightning Drones again. On the left side, first one, that is Ajay Devgan Films 30 kg payload system, which we had made it and tested vigorously for flying 10 kg of camera. We wanted to put it on the top of that. So this was the first system. Second one, we had worked for TERI, that is the Energy Research Institute. That is for temperature envelope. It was work for global warming. Heat island was one of the topic which we are working with, where they wanted to see how temperature is changing above the above several land pockets. One of the example we had shown here, you can see on the top of the building, the temperature is actually reducing from 26.4 to somewhere 25. There are some more readings actually which are not there in the photograph. So this was one of the project where we had done this thing at several locations in the city and then at the countryside to visualize how temperature is there on the top of the concrete jungle and then vegetation. The third one, which we had already discussed, that is the Turbo 2 for PGCL. The fourth one we had developed for again cinematography, that was 6 kg payload. We are using Sony X. The second last one, that was 360 VR camera, as I was explaining before, that we can put gimbal with more than 5 to 6 cameras that we can put it on the top of drone and then fly over, which can create actually 360 videos. This work we have done extensively for Incredible India. I hope you can see those videos on the YouTube also. The last one, that is a 10 kg payload system. You can see the comparison with the Phantom, which generally more people have been seen already. These are the several R&D projects which we have done already. The left side where you can see it was one of the projects from a previous employer where I was involved extensively, where we had done, we have actually designed analyze in the computer first, and then created the parts of the small helicopter, which was one of the project under NP-MICAV, that is National Program for Micro Air Vehicle. We are tested extensively, and then submitted that with the camera and the payload gimbal, this thing. So after that, you can see some of the projects with the CFD. We have done some projects with computational fluid dynamics and experimentation also. You can see some wind tunnels there. We have one piston engine installed there, and then we are working with different temperature and different velocities with different fin designs actually. So likewise, we have some more projects on the right hand side. You can see some projects with fixed wing, where we had achieved more than 2 hours of endurance. And you can see few of the drones which are so big that we are sleeping below and then doing the work for this development. Coming back to the steps which are involved generally in development of the UAV. We will talk more about the air vehicle here again. So generally what we require to do is, like, we require to first study the market, what is happening across the globe. It is not required actually somebody is doing next to your door, but you can find several people are already doing in some country. So you definitely required to know what they are doing and how they are doing. So that study is required for your own range. Again, there is a range, like as everybody knows that there are nano drones, there are micro drones, there are mini drones, large drones, and then very large drones are there available in market. So you require to know actually which range you are working with. And then that particular range you require to find out the similar drones first and their specifications. With these specifications, you can create a constraint diagram. These constraint diagrams are very much required whenever you are conceptually designing something, because you require to constrain your all the parameters in some envelope. Then only you can actually freeze the data faster. Otherwise, what will happen is, like, you will get some data, another 1 month you will get some more data, you will just keep on roaming here and there. So you require to constrain that, and I hope that will be being taught in design classes, how to constrain and constraint diagrams. Then generally in fixed wing, it will start with wing designs. Then you require to select the propulsion systems, fuselage design, your empennage design, like a tail design. Then you require to actually do overall performance of entire system. Before you had done already subsystem analysis, then you require to actually assemble them, do the entire system design, like entire aircraft design, aircraft analysis. And then you require to actually take that CAD model for CFD structural analysis. You require to go back several times. Like, it is not necessary that you are going 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. You have to keep on going 1 to 2, and then again you have to come back to 1, or maybe you are going further to 3, again you have to come back to 1. There are several things actually. So designing is not like one way going. So you require to keep on doing it, and then that iteration will actually boost your experience and boost your further confidence to do the next work. So that is required all the time. Then you require to do stability analysis. Then you have to go for prototyping. Most of the students do some mistake over here. Actually, they jump directly to 12. That is prototyping. They see something on the YouTube or somewhere on the Google, and then they start prototyping on their own, purchasing something on the Amazon here and there. But I suggest you just go through first what you want to do at the end. Then only your prototyping expenses and the time involvement will reduce. So then you have to do testing. That is ground testing you require to do. You have to do the flight testing, and then you require to produce the identical systems. This is how actually generally UAV designing go in the line. I hope, here we have again separately fixed wing. You can see a few of the graphs, and then a few of the models had been done in CFD, and then actual prototyping. Prototyping also you may have to do with the available material in the market. Maybe something is not available in your market, you have to purchase from somewhere else, and that is not available on that particular day. You require to go ahead and then see other parameters to test it, and then go back to your actual material which you wanted. So that way you require to again understand the limitations and assumptions, which is point number 5 here. You have to understand the assumptions which are made when you are doing the analysis, and then compromisation which you are doing when you are purchasing or you are getting the material. So this is very much required. Otherwise, many of the big projects fail here, because what happened, people go with the prototyping and then they started flying. And then as you know, once aircraft go in air, it has to come down because of the gravity. So if it is not coming and landing properly, definitely it will crash. So the work which you have done until date, everything will go off again. You have to start from the scratch. So be very, very slow, and then patience. You are supposed to have patience to start actual testing. Here again, one of the projects I want to show about rotary wing. Rotary wing also again the same. You require to do the conceptual design, various parameters to consider while design, which will be useful further. Frame design, first you require to do the frame design according to your payload and then according to the market electronics available. So you require to develop or fabricate, and then add or as well the various components, electronic components on the node. You require to go ahead with your again the limitations of aerodynamics and structures, and assemble them, ground test it. Ground testing is very much required. You require to do your CG testing. You require to do some kind of static analysis for this, and then you have to go with the flying of the drone. As in the starting note, Professor Selumurthy has been told us before that in today this entire market in the world it is $22 billion, which is more than $22 billion, which will be increasing to $43 billion in coming 5 years. So definitely I can see the very good future for all you guys who are listening to this particular session, which is now about to stop. But before that, I want to actually show you where you can place your yourself in the industry. If somebody is looking forward for future design trends in industry, according to me, these are the main areas where you can actually think of. The first area where you can see on the left side, that nano hummingbird is just 160 mm in the length and 19 gram in the weight. It is very, very small actually. It is smaller than our AA batteries. And that has been developed already, which can fly at 18 km/h as a maximum speed, but it can hover, it can fly in any direction, and that too only with a flapping wing. So this is one of the main area where future design trends will go. If you are looking for development, something new development, you can actually look for this particular area. Second one is on the right side, the Titan Aerospace. They had actually developed this particular drone, which is Solar 50, which is 50 meter in wingspan. It is huge, and 15 meter in a length. This particular drone was solar powered and can fly infinity until their batteries go off. It can fly continuously over around the globe for several applications. Actually, Google is using it for internet connectivity in remote places. So these particular projects also we can actually look forward to because if the students are looking forward for some kind of design new drone, they can see for solar drones, because this can solve your endurance and range problem, which is generally everybody is facing today. The first one is endurance. Like most of the drones which we are flying, they are below 1 hour of the endurance. So this particular drone can fly forever actually. So you can definitely look forward for solar powered drones. The third one at the center, that is Intel swarm of drones. Like they are using thousands of drones to create something, and that they can create anything. There are several applications. So this was one of the demonstrations done by Intel, and they had got Guinness Book of World Record also for this. They had more than 2,000 drones there. But afterwards, some Chinese companies also broke this record recently with 3,000 drones. So definitely you can look for this particular area where you want to look for design trends. And the last one, where you have drone which can actually change its shape and size in between flight. Means like it can fly with the first configuration also, and it can fly with the second configuration. And this configuration you can keep on changing according to your space available where your drone is going. So this particular thing is also very good for thinking or for your future design projects. But if you're looking for services or coming in the available industry, and you want to become a part of that industry, so one of the first thing that is already happening over the globe, that is deliveries, retail deliveries, medicine deliveries, or any other deliveries with drones. The connecting to that, there is next to that, below that, there is drone taxis. This transportation, this particular drone can carry actually a man, or you can say the more than 100 kg of weight. So this is also one of the great area which is happening across the globe, where you can place yourself, because this can be used for even patients carrying, or maybe the bodies carrying from the rescue and surveillance. So that you can use such big drones. Coming below that, there is search and rescue operations. This is being happen everywhere across globe. In forest, it is happening in on the boundaries, everywhere. So this also you can actually look for your interest, if you are interested really to go in the forest and find something or search something. Coming on the top right side, agriculture drones, both spraying drones and analysis drones. As I showed you before, there is a multispectral or hyperspectral cameras which can actually analyze the current scenario on the field, and they can tell you which kind of disease is coming in the next month, or what is the deficiency in the agriculture or the farm with the crop. So that area is coming up very, very fast, and you can actually place yourself there. The last one, that is inspections. This is never dying area where you can actually inspect inside, indoor, or outside. There are several assets across industry. I didn't mention before, that is oil and gas or chemical industry, where generally going with a person in a person is very difficult or not safe. So these areas are very strong, where you can actually place yourself. As a career opportunities in an industry, as I told you before, all streams of engineering has a great opportunity in industry here. You can see for drone designing, development, manufacturing, their applications as a flyer or a pilot, test pilot, UAV pilot, data management, because huge amount of data collected every day with the drones, and that has geotags. So that management itself is a very big headache today. Another thing is like your image processing and data interpretation and so on. There are several areas where you can place yourself, and you can see what is your interest, and accordingly you can approach the industry. To just tell what is available at our place in Lightning Drones, we are actually looking forward for junior electrical engineer post, and we are actually looking forward for a diploma or graduate. The scope of work, he or she is supposed to go on the site and then inspect this EHV overhead transmission lines, solar power plants, wind turbines, and substations with drone thermography IV curve testing. Candidate need to travel across India or maybe abroad and inspect the electrical asset for various tests. So that's it from my side. I hope everybody enjoyed this. If you have any doubt, you can actually start asking us. You can, I hope you can chat, or maybe you can ask live. I'm not sure, but I'll just stop this presentation. I hope Sridhar sir, is that okay? I'll stop this.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ramjan Pathan sir. Very, very interesting. We have plenty of questions.
Okay.
Selomurthy sir, should I start the questions, or you have some notes?
No, I think you please start the questions, because let us answer. The students as well as participants are very keen. Please
Yes,
start with the questions.
Very, very inspiring webinar, and it has certainly raised volley of questions. I can see 29 questions in the question box. Dr. Sridhara, can you take it forward for the questions?
Thank you very much, sir. Ramjan, the first question, how do you handle jumping voltage near the power transmission towers? One of the anonymous attendee has asked this question.
Yeah, this is a really good question actually, and we have tested several things. I went to China also to find out how they are doing it. Chinese people, where we went, and they were especially they were working with the grid, Chinese grid, which was EHV, again more than 400 kV line. So they had a very special lab to find out how your magnetic interference and voltages are affecting on drones. But that could kind of lab we couldn't set up here yet. So what we have done is like with the permission of the asset manager, we have done some testing, but most of the time we don't go very close to the line. We will be like 15 meter to 10 meter in that range, 10 meter away from the line. So that is most of the lines like 400 kV, even 765 kV. We don't require to worry about that because interference level is not that high at that height.
Thank you. There is another question from Anjan. How to make hydrogen-based charging drone? Do you have any idea on that?
No, as of now, I can't answer this, but definitely people are working on hydrogen-based fuel cell. There is company Horizon Energy from Singapore. They are working on this. So definitely he can look forward in Google Edge.
Yeah, in line with your progress, which you showed about inspection of power lines and also the wind turbine, there is a very good question. Ajay Singh is asking, can you identify water seepage in hydrogen power plants dams? Near the dam, there will be water seepage. Can you identify this?
Yeah, we can identify this actually. We are talking with one of the client regarding this. We can even create a 3D model out of this entire dam, and then we can zoom it and then see each and every crack or each and every water seepage in the dam. Definitely, this is one of the applications where we can use drones. Yes.
There are many questions about battery backup and the flight duration. Can you just throw some lights on it?
Yes, as I told you before, when we are talking about future trends in design, the main limitation today with the drone is the battery, and the battery which is generally coming from like varying from 15 minutes, 15 minutes to like 50 minutes, 50 minutes. In that only we have to play with the several combinations. So, but going beyond it is not possible today. So generally, on an average, the drones which are being flown in the industry today, they are somewhere 20 to 30 minutes of endurance.
Okay, and same question, Mr. Manoj Pandey is a very good faculty member with us, and he has developed many drones with ourselves. He has a question: have you developed a hybrid drone with petrol, electric, or something like this? Any combination of that?
No.
For the fuel. The question is: have you developed a hybrid drone which will use dual fuel, something like petrol plus electric, means battery, etc., and so on?
Yes. In-house, it is under development. Actually, we are even developing a transition plane which has multi-rotor and fixed wing, in which fixed wing will fly on the petrol engine and multi-rotor will fly on the electrical. So that is in progress. But only thing is like we didn't get much this thing. What you can say, the application wise and the economy wise, we couldn't take it in the market yet. But yeah, this is in the development. We can do it. There's no problem.
Okay. What softwares are you used in your drone? This question asked by Sandeep Mathur.
There are several softwares actually. According to your applications, we are using several softwares and even mobile applications. Like talking about few, like if we are using, let's say, DJI drone, we require to fly drone with a DJI software. They have several their own applications. Apart from that, if we are doing some kind of mapping work, we are using Pix4D for flying or drone deployed for flying. Apart from that, we have GS Pro. These are the applications for flying drone. Apart from that, we have several softwares for analyzing it or post-processing it or stitching it. There are several softwares which we are using it on daily basis.
Ramjan, my question to add it to that, how many of them are open source softwares, codes?
Yeah, most of them are easily available. They are open source. Today, industry is growing so fast. So software companies are growing very, very fast in this area compared to hardware. So on daily basis, actually new softwares are coming and they are really useful. But somebody has to test it and then use it for application. So that takes times.
Yeah, Ramaranjan Bhattaji is asking how to avoid obstacle, especially near trees. I mean, basically the question is about obstacle avoidance.
Yes, when we started in 2011 and all, this was very much prominent question, very important question. But over the period of time, these companies are using visual sensors. Previously, we were using sonar for this, but now they are using small visual sensors in all sides of drone, and that is giving inputs to the drone that there is some kind of obstacle in front. But yeah, as if it is very, very small, like in centimeter or mm, that not be visible. But if something big like a wall or maybe even wind turbine and all, definitely it will be showing you that there is some obstacle and it will calculate how much distance.
Ramjan, actually your talk has created a lot of interest. So many questions are coming. There's a student called Pratejas Tomar. He is asking a question: what care ought to be taken in agricultural spraying, and is there any certification to be taken for agricultural spraying? Do you have any information?
Yes, for agriculture spraying, it is a really good area, and I am asking people to come in this area because we have very big farmland in India. So regarding regarding care, which he asked first, definitely, actually, we don't want to get involved our staff member to go and spray with a normal sprayer. That is the reason we are deploying our drones. So drone will be away, and the person who is actually flying or assistant people, they will be away from the drone. So definitely you have to see that distance maintained between you and the machine. And the second thing, as a certification, now DGCA has actually opened up and then created several FTOs. They are assigning the certification for flying drones. So definitely they will get the contacts from our site or maybe in the Google also.
Yeah, there's another interesting question by Ramranjan Bhattacharji, our faculty. Can we have 3D printable drone?
Yes, we have. We can. Actually, it's like today also we are taking several small components which are not available in market, which that we 3D printed 3D. But you can actually create entire drone with 3D printed. But yes, definitely electrons you can't, so you have to put electrons over it.
That is true. And Ishan Rastogi is asking, can we use Arduino Nano Wi-Fi for drone?
Yes. Arduino are the one of the first boards which we had used in 2011-12 for the making drones. So definitely Arduino is one of the first choice actually. You can go ahead and start working.
The question is on Wi-Fi actually. Arduino Nano Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi, I suggest don't use Wi-Fi because that will interfere your 2.4 gigahertz connection which you are using with remote. And so don't work with Wi-Fi directly. But yeah, if you are working only Wi-Fi for connecting drone and then flying it, controlling it, that is absolutely okay. You can fly drone with Wi-Fi. There is no problem.
Yeah, our faculty members are excited. Dr. KM Soni is asking, we are now looking at, watch this particular webinar. We are very much interested. How do we are offering MTech and PhD in AE, that is Aerospace Engineering and Avionics. How to get connected to you? I think this answer will be given by our President ASTF, sir, later. I have a few more questions here, which is very interesting. Dr. Dhruv Kumar is Associate Professor of AUP Noida. I want to read his complete statement. I'm really excited to read this. Mr. Ramjan Patan, thank you very much for giving very informative and application-based information on drones in civil applications. We are highly enjoyed and highly appreciative of your lecture. Even my son studying in the middle school has thoroughly enjoyed your lecture. My question is related to health sciences. Can we use this drone system to map areas which are prone to tropical diseases, specifically mosquito-borne diseases, including malaria, dengue, Japanese, etc., and all that? So can you just answer this question, please?
Yeah, surely you can do this actually mapping because today drones are being used extensively in GIS. Only thing is like you required somebody to give that input to drone because as you are talking about malaria, that drone should have some kind of sensor which can find out the mosquito density. But I'm not sure about the sensor today, but definitely we can come up together and then look for this application.
Okay, there's another question here. How many companies may be there in India who is working like this and who may be manufacturing or giving the components of drone? This is from Neeraj Sharma.
I can't put the proper number, but definitely we have more than 20 companies in India today. They are working in the drone at several applications, like somebody may be working in the mapping or somebody may be working in inspection. Regarding manufacturing, definitely we do have 4 to 5 manufacturers in India. They are developing indigenous drones and then even supplying to the defense. I hope I answered the question.
Mr. Pathan, this is a very highly inspiring actually presentation and hundreds of questions are coming. One of the questions which is coming to my mind that drones are highly sensitive vehicles of tomorrow. So how do you think the regulations can really cope up with the kind of surveillance and kind of safety hazards which we may have actually with drones? Can you throw some light on future regulations which will be coming in this area?
Correct. Definitely this area is growing exponentially. And then we have to cope up with the new regulations and rules from the civil aviation. And that definitely actually DGCA is working day night on this topic. And on the regular basis, they are bringing up some kind of draft and some kind of regulations. And today, already FTOs are offering proper certification for flying drones. So definitely they are also doing their work, and we have to actually cope up with them. It should not be like we are fighting with them saying that this rule is not there. But we should tie up together, we should work it together, and then because they are ready to accept any suggestion on their even Twitter account. So definitely they are also open up to do this. I hope one of our professor here was involved in, maybe MS Prasad was involved in drone regulations.
I think Professor MS Prasad can respond to this. The national policy which are getting framed. He's involved in that. Over to you, Prasad. Can you just come on?
All right, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, we have a process. We have laid down the certain standards for the drone to be used for at particular altitude. That was a very important thing because, sir, the helicopters fly at around 500 meters to 200 meters. So we have divided given the categories of drones which can be used by these industry people at different altitude. Then we have also laid down that how to register their drone, like an aircraft get registered. They get an aircraft number. You must have seen, sir, on each aircraft at the tail there is a number. Similarly, he must have registered a couple of his DJI Phantom, what I see, or his own octocopter. We are coming out with a method for giving them the airworthiness certificate. And we are going to, a team of us are going to lay down that which institute or which research institute or an industry is going to issue the airworthiness certificate. So like in India, you have the aircraft inspection group, which gives the certificate for airworthiness. Similar concept, we are going for the UAV, whatever UAV we are doing. Another problem which DGCA, our own India, is doing is that we are going to define geofencing. Because, sir, if you notice, especially in the Gurgaon area, a lot of drones keep flying for the marriage near the airport. So we are going to define the geofencing, and then the DGCA is also coming out with a measure to monitor the flight of a drone so that it does not go into no flying zone or geofencing area. These are a couple of things in the plate, and most of the drafts Mr. Ramjan must have gone through. A couple of them are coming again on this issue, sir. I hope.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
There is another interesting question here. Guinea Aurora is asking, what are the specific parameters that needs improvement or need while development of drone? Means which are the research areas which are still pending?
Ramjan, I take a minute.
Yeah, please, please.
One of the most important area, I see the amount of work Mr. Ramjan's team has done is enormous. But most important is we have to develop our own indigenous, flight controller. Today, you are using the Chinese flight controller, AutoPilot, using the GPS. I can tell you most of the GPS data is initialized to Singapore or Taiwan. So this is one of the important factors which I will like to tell all the students. Work on that, it's a software. Then another idea is fault tolerant on this. Simply like a couple of his drone must be having a software that if something happens, it will return to home. That is not a total facility because you are going to fly it in a populated area. And if some fault occurs, there are people walking on the road or standing on the roofs. That is one of the problems which needs to be thought. Besides, number of a small thing like swarm of drones is an important aspect of working. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, plenty are there. I just request Professor P.B. Sharma, sir, what shall we do with the questions? Shall we take up the questions at the end with the speaker after the session?
The time is running out, but if there is any further important question, you can thresh it out in few seconds. Yes, short answers. I'm very happy that Mr. Pathan is providing very quick and short answers to the question, which is very, very good, in fact.
Dr. P.V. Sharma,
Sir.
P.V. Sharma,
sir,
for this lecture, time will never come out. We should give everybody, every question, the chance to reply. If Professor Pathan can have time to stay for a little more, and anybody who has some other appointment can go, but I want to listen every question which has been put, even if it is 2 hours late, because these questions give me a lot of new vision. So, Mr. Pathan, can we continue with the questions? Because
yes, sir, surely, sir. Surely we can continue. There is no problem at all. We can answer.
Leave it because I don't want to, but for this webinar, there is no time limit.
Very good. With the permission of Honorable Founder President, please continue with this very important and interesting webinar for us to understand not only today, but the future, in fact, of drones deployment and design. So, Dr. Sridhara, any further question you have in the chat?
There is a very interesting question from Subhanshu Tiwari, our faculty member who is working in atmospheric science studies. He's asking a very interesting question. Sir, I'm working in the field of atmospheric sciences. I want to ask, suppose we have atmospheric parameter sensors as payload and launch the drones at altitudes, mountains, sites, etc. What are the complexities or complexities we have, and how to avoid that?
Okay, I would like to answer this. As I showed you one of the case study from the TERI, that was the Energy Research Institute. We were working for finding the temperatures above certain points. They wanted to actually measure the temperature, how temperature is changing from the ground to certain heights in the atmosphere. So we went up till like 30 meters or so. So we had collected the data with a temperature measurement unit at several heights like 2 meter, 5 meter and 10 meter and all. So that has been done, but there was one of the complications which was coming is like we were not sure that the forced convection which is happening because of the propellers of the drone, which is directly hitting on the sensor. So because of that, we had done several different trials where we had placed one of the ladder, and then on the top of that, we had the same similar identical sensor. And then we were taking the inputs from the drone sensor also. So like that, we can do this kind of work jointly and definitely find out the way out of this. So we can definitely attach such sensor and then find out the data. There's no problem.
Just added to that from my end, Ramjan, basically whenever you want to take the air samples are to be taken at a particular standard rate and standard pressure differences and all. You have your drone blades which are, brushing down the complete wind at a high velocity. And how do we actually control that basically? See, for example, I need to know the strata variation in particulate matter from ground level to the altitude. For example, in Delhi, Gurgaon, we are seeing that, strata variation. How do we do that? Is it possible to collect such things using drone?
It is possible, sir. If it is not, see, drone is not only limited to your multi-rotor. You can actually use anything which is unmanned, right? So even many of the places we can use balloons, hydrogen balloons, which we can send it up and then we can collect the data at whatever the time span we want. So we can actually create or develop some other drones also, which can be useful for such application. Only thing is like we're supposed to start with the requirement out of the problem statement. We should know what is the payload supposed to take it at what height or at up till what time span we supposed to collect the data. So definitely we can work on this problem.
Ranu Nayak is asking what care we should take for the safety when you are using this drone in college and school premises.
The first thing is like you should not test above any human being or like above any people gathering. You should be flying drone or like any kind of flying vehicles away from the people. You're supposed to fly on the open ground. That is the first thing which you have to do it. As we are talking here about the projects which are under development, so definitely we have to take care of this thing first. And the second thing, before putting the propeller, we require to test all the parameters with static drone. Like we can actually find out the several things in simulation only, simulation itself. So we don't require to put a propeller and then start flying on the first day itself. So as I told you before also, like before started flying, we require to do all this ground test and then only take it outside. And definitely when we will do one of the projects together, our team will suggest you how to do it and not to do it. We'll do it, sir.
Dr. Lucky Krishna is a professor in our department in nanotechnology. Madam is asking actually, suppose you want to use it for emergency area, what is the load they can carry and how do you handle and sustain? I just add up a little bit to that. Recently in Bangalore, there were organ donor in one hospital. This has to be transported to another hospital, which was about 10 kilometers away. It took nearly about 3 hours for that. And even if you make zero traffic also, it took half an hour. Now the people are talking of using drone to transport the organs from one hospital to another hospital. Can you just answer this question?
Actually, to tell you the previous story, there was a green corridor created in Bangalore, like some 5 years ago or something. The first time it was happened in Bangalore and then Chennai. In Bangalore, there was a donor and the person who required the patient was there in Chennai. So what they did is like they created one green corridor from Bangalore hospital to the airport, and they had took that ambulance in 30 minutes to the airport. And from the airport, they had flown the aircraft, and similarly, they had taken this, might be it was, organ was hard. And then they had done this successful surgery. So the same time, NDRF, that is National Design Research Forum, which is situated in Bangalore, came up with this idea, saying that rather doing this all thing in Bangalore, because stopping this thing, signals or like stopping the traffic in the Bangalore is very, very difficult at that peak hour. So NDRF came up with the idea first time. And then what we thought is like we can create a drone which can carry this to at least airport, not to the Chennai, but at least to the airport. And definitely there is work going on in the country on this. And already in country, we have developed 100 plus kgs payload drone. Only thing is like carrying live organ is the question, but we can use this particular opportunity or particular drone to several other applications. And that is being, already it is happening. So it is not new.
Yeah, there are other questions.
Can I add something in this?
Please, sir. Please go ahead,
sir. In the northeastern region, it is being used to supply the medicine and emergency devices across the mountains. Yes. In fact, one of the Lieutenant Colonel trained in our institute, Amity in Noida, is actively using it for the army to transport a couple of important items across the valley. It can be done, like he has got a drone of 10 kg or 6 kg that can comfortably lift in the mountain area about 4 to 5 kg due to the air density problem.
One more adding to this, actually there is one company named Zipline. They are working very extensively in African countries. They have set up their stations from where up to 80 kilometer of radius, they are actually supplying blood samples, blood bags with a drone. That is being happen already. And maybe very soon they are actually developing their centers in Maharashtra.
Yeah, one clarity is required based on this question. I mean, this answer which you gave and Prasad sir also gave. What is actually the distance through which actually you can operate drone, or is it to be only autonomous or not?
Yeah, after certain distance, you can't fly manual because there is no use of we are flying manually looking at the screen. So generally, these kind of missions will be autonomous.
What is that number? People are asking about the number. What is the kilometer?
Kilometer. Okay, a kilometer. See, if it is autonomous, then it is any kilometer it can go until its fuel is getting over. So as I told you just now, Zipline is delivering blood up to 80 kilometers, 80 kilometers from their station. So that is being happened. And then as I told you before, there is a Titan Aerospace. They had created their autonomous drone, which is flying across globe all the time. It is just revolving around the globe forever. It is kind of satellite, small satellite.
Can I add something here, sir?
No, sir, please go ahead, sir.
Yesterday, I visited one of the facility and the office research workshop of one of our student who just passed out 2 years, and he's running a very successful startup and a very big, he is one of the major supplier to the defense forces and paramilitary forces. He yesterday showed me his drone, which can carry 100 kgs of weight in the plain area and 20 kg, which he has successfully demonstrated to army in high altitude area. And he has also got the drones, which is taking navigation from the satellites. So the range is limitation of this thing is also not in the visual range. So in mountainous range, he is able to provide, in non-visual range, he is able to fly his drones through the satellite commands. So his startup is now Gamma Rotors, and he has got also given some proposals, which I have sent it to the founder president. Yesterday, I spent the whole day in his facilities.
Fantastic, sir. I think this answer satisfied most of the questions which were asked regarding non-visible range of drone and what altitude it can go, etc., whether it has to be autonomous. Thank you very much, Colonel, sir. Dr. Ashutosh Srivastava is asking a very good question. Can we have underwater drone?
Yes, surely. As I told you before, this is today's topic was about aerial vehicles. So definitely we can have ground vehicles, autonomous, or even on the surface vehicle like ships, or even submarines or underwater vehicles. So this all can be autonomous, and they can communicate to each other and then work together as a network. That is definitely it is possible, and there is one of the committee in India. They are working on this unmanned systems. So they are working on the such kind of systems already.
No, underwater drone.
But I will add it to it. I will add it to it. We are working on this. The only problem comes in underwater unmanned vehicle is the communication system and their navigation, because generally you have to set up a long baseline. And that's one of the problems which Navy is also finding and we are also finding. But in abroad, US, they use the drones for these purposes and they set up the communication. That the communication is the one of the problem. Otherwise, the DC motor and other electronics are more or less same, except you have to maintain the positive buoyancy. That is another aspect.
You may not call it underwater drone, you may call it underwater autonomous vehicle.
Yes,
because there the quadcopter would not be applicable. You would require, in fact, a propulsion system that can navigate underwater, and of course, communication technology is there. Sir.
Doctor, you are the doyen of drones. You know, because I came to know about drones first time from you. I saw the drone first time in practice at AUH. Who can tell me since when the drones are known? Is it 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? This drone is something miraculous. Since when? Maybe you can reply or somebody else.
Sir,
since how many years drones are known?
Basically, I think drones were introduced to common people through the movie Three Idiots.
Three Idiots.
Three Idiots. And everybody loves that movie.
No, sir, I will tell you, Dr. Sridhar. Sir, the concept of the drone came in the Second World War, and the name drone came later. Sir, earlier it was a remotely piloted aircraft.
Right.
So then Second World War, people started using it, a small model aircraft, which can be remotely piloted. Sir, in old days, whatever you have seen the photograph of a car going into a valley and all was taken with that type of model aircraft.
Right.
In 1975, what happened, sir? That couple of people in the Texas came out with a small structure in a cross manner with two motors attached and a propeller. And that used to make a lot of noise like all the drones make. That is the time they coined the word drone, because drone is an Arizonian bird in Amazon, which makes a lot of sound, sir. Yes. So that's how the name
Pathan, I liked your idea to make a study globally what is all happening all over the world about drones. So this is a wonderful idea, and you must be doing. We can fully support you in this study, because that is a base for your actions and our action. Second thing, Mr. Pathan, did you contact the ministries that drones can distribute corona vaccines? Can the drones be applied for the distribution of corona vaccines? The government is quite worried at the moment how to do the distribution?
No, I didn't try for this particular application. But yeah, if at all we have some such kind of opportunity, we will definitely look for that.
Definitely, Dr. Silvamurthy.
Yes, yeah.
Dr. Silvamurthy, let's talk to the ministry, Harshvardhanji, and everybody who was involved, ICMR.
Right.
I think this is a great idea because
Yeah,
they're all worried now. The vaccine will come soon, Indian or from otherwise other countries, USA or Russia.
Right.
But now the distribution, that is why Modi is also giving a lot of thought.
Right.
So within few days, you make a concept and send to the PSA, NSA,
right.
And all these persons, and also Harshvardhanji. Well, this is a, maybe they have the idea, but we can do it better. We know more about drones.
Right.
So please make a concept report.
So you may remember that ICMR sent a team to Amity to see our drone. ICMR sent a team to us just last year to see our students, which he was mentioning, Kapoor, and we actually demonstrated with a payload. It will be with an ice box with in which vaccine will be put there. And our students actually demonstrated how it can be. Then that report also I have sent to you, that what Amity demonstrated to ICMR on this drone developed by our students. I'll send you the report again. And we will write a mail to PSA and also the PMO also, that this is possible to give it to remote areas like Ladakh and also Northeast, where the accessibility will be very less. We will be able to send these vaccines in the ice box delivered over there.
Dr. Silvamurthy, in the exhibition of Army,
right,
the student of R.K. Kapoor presented a drone.
Yes, yes, you remember that.
And
the
among
Army chief also
very few
saw that.
articles,
Army chief saw that also.
General Rawat and ministers, they came and they stood a long time there.
Yes.
And that was liked so much, that drone, R.K. Kapoor. Where is that student?
That's the student he was mentioning just now. He was mentioning
right.
He has become a big entrepreneur now. Our student has become a big entrepreneur. Over to you, Kapoor.
Otherwise, we'll make him entrepreneur.
No.
We will make him entrepreneur.
That student has, yesterday I spent the whole day in his office, saw his research lab, and he is supplying in very great number. The Victor and Kilo Force in Srinagar are using his drones excessively. He has in fact mounted AK-47 on his drone. He has mounted his dispensers which can throw grenades, and UGL, the grenade launcher, he has mounted on this thing. And that drone which you saw in the exhibition of the military, that time it could carry only 20 kgs. Now he yesterday showed me a drone which can carry 100 kgs in plains and 20 kgs in high altitude in Ladakh, which he has successfully demonstrated to Army. In fact, he was telling me that if you want, he can lay out his all different products for you to visually see that anywhere, either in Amity or even in the AKC house. Because at the moment he will...
Dr. V.V. Sharma,
sir,
I think whatever from today onwards we do in the area of drone, research and development, production, implementation, we will do first all with Professor Pathan. He will be our first partner, and so that he knows everything what we want, and we know that what we want, and I will fully support in every respect to grow and develop this institution, because he is brilliant, has a lot of experience, and can do a lot. And with us together, it can be miraculous.
Yes.
It can be, Professor Sridhar.
Thank you, sir.
So please see that he is brilliant, and now these many ideas. I was talking to Nutan Kaushik. When the locust comes, when we know the locust is coming, then we fly a drone and they blast crackers. They will fly further. So I have got 24 such ideas where drones, but SM Prasad should rule the regulations. It's very important, to know the rules and regulation, and keep in touch with the government to make the rules and regulation, because this is immensely important area.
Absolutely.
Immensely important areas. Even the government told you to work on the biodefense. also there, it can be of great use. So I think, Dr. P.V. Sharma, now you take the command. We will contact, and I compliment Sridhar and Dr. Pathan. But this is not the end. वो क्या कहते हैं हिंदी में, अभी तो पार्टी शुरू हुई है. अभी तो पार्टी शुरू हुई है.
Sir, your thoughts
Thank you,
are
sir.
very
Thank you very much.
valuable, and we draw tremendous inspiration from your thoughts. Even your thoughts of distributing a corona vaccine using a drone is really worthwhile pursuing, because the biggest problem with vaccine is that you have to put it at ultra frozen temperature. And such like facilities are not everywhere. Therefore, if one can transmit it or transport it from one place to another using a device like drone in a short period of time, I think that will solve the problem of ultra frozen condition required for vaccine also. So I think Mr. Pathan, as the Honorable Founder President has said, we would like to certainly work with you in partnership with you and pick up your thoughts also, and also our brilliant minds of student community and teachers we have. We'll work together to really design and develop some high impact applications which are of direct value to the community, as well as, in fact, path-breaking innovations in that respect. So that's an area we would have, and the Honorable Founder President has already said he has very high opinion about you, and we have very high opinion about you also.
Thank you, sir.
I'm really thankful to you for giving you this opportunity to be with us and share your valuable ideas. I was really mesmerized when you said that drones are monitoring the health of the high tension lines. I know that a lot of leakage of corona is there, corona discharge, because of high current and high voltage involved. But you have gone close and could even see that there is a small pin which is missing from the joint. I mean, if that can be possible, I'm sure the dare-driven capabilities of drone are not far off, and we should be able to
Professor Sharma, just one or two quick things. Number one, if you can contemplate the thought of maybe introducing a minor degree track in drone technology for our engineering students. If we can develop a separate drone lab, which already we have been speaking about, and Mr. Ramzan can maybe help in that. He already has offered to provide some support. That can we develop a high-end drone technology lab. Yes, also, globally, there are drone Olympics. So where youngsters from all over the country come and they fly drones and a track is set up. Yes. Maybe at Abt University, Haryana, we can host the first drone Olympics of the country, where people can fly the drones and show their skills, because drone pilots will also be required in the future. Right. Maybe these three things you can please follow up.
You're absolutely right. I think the drone Olympic, as well as the higher-end research lab, for drone design and development is very much required. We can take a lead in that respect. Only difficulty is that we are very close to national security guards in our Amethi University, Haryana. They keep a close eye on whatever we do. And even if you send a small balloon in the air, it is taken note of. Their own drones are, in fact, hovering over our campus. I can see that happening actually, because they're doing a whole lot of surveillance. But we will certainly take strides in this respect and make our campus far more vibrant in this area, which is so important, both for civil as well as for military.
Let me supplement what Chancellor mentioned. I had a discussion with Mr. Ramdan. Just we arrived at 5 areas for collaboration. 5 areas. The first area is the R&D partner. He wants Amethi as the R&D partner because he has got only 11 people with him. So he would like to have our PhD scholars, MTech students, and to participate on the project partnership mode. This is one area where Ramdan is very keen that we would like to work on a partnership mode for further development of new types of UAVs. This is one. The second is capacity building. Capacity building, a large number of our students may be interested in taking this as a certification program. So we wanted to launch a certification program, maybe for 1 month, 2 months, depending on the course content, hands-on. So we will have to develop that hands-on. So with the permission of all those people which are required to permit, even our neighbors there, we will take the permission. So the other second part will be capacity building in drone. The third one is the drone pilot, which C6 also mentioned, certification. Because there are 1 or 2 institutions have just started pilots, because you need to have qualified people who can negotiate the computer-human interface, dexterity of the hands, and also the software, And if it is going to be an autonomous mode, then you to use that. So we have to develop drone pilot certification program in Amity. This is the third area of collaboration. Fourth one is drone club, drone students club. Even high school students may like to have a club in which they can come and play hobbies. And now even in the toy shop, the drones are available. A simple flying, how within the house you can fly that type of toy. So we have to have drone club for students, including the school students. The fourth one is lab expansion, which C6 already mentioned. The sixth one, we discussed that services. We will be able to give support because you need more people in that services. So we can also, in the services which is being provided, again on partnership mode, that we will be able to employ the students and others. So these are the 6 areas in which we like to build partnership with Mr.
Dr. Selvamurthy, may I request to add one more in this?
Right.
Which is that, if we can look at also the regulation and the policy, and Amity Law, and we have Amity Law Schools. So maybe our Amity Law Schools can review what are the current laws around where it's permitted, who gives the permission, what are the laws around drones.
Yes.
And if for India, we can come up with a policy framework that we can submit to the government also from Amity's side.
Very important. Very important.
Our Asset and our ALS Law School, together they can work on this project.
Very good, sir. This also will include that. So I think, sir, Professor said these are 7 areas in which now we will take forward with your blessings if you approve this, that we will go ahead and start discussing and build and keep you informed on the progress on this mission drone.
Dr. Selvamurthy, on 3rd December,
yes,
German Research Day is being celebrated in a very big way.
Right.
We should see there, speak to people what Germany is doing in the area of drones.
Right.
Because a large number of research institutions are coming there. So that will be a one place platform to give us an immediate idea.
Wonderful.
Because our German chapter of STIF.
Yes.
Now, as Professor Pathan told, I am very eager now to know the global developments, what is happening where,
right,
so that there we start and we become among the top. Indian brain, I always tell, you can't find a second Pathan easily elsewhere. So we have to work on it. Sridhar?
Sir, thank you, sir.
If I spend so much time, I have some expectations from you people.
Sure, sir, definitely.
I'm very short of time. But today, yes, I overruled P.V. Sharma ji that go ahead. Okay. So now I give to P.V. Sharma ji.
So long as you are there, sir, we all are here, and we are here very eagerly understanding what can be done and should be done within the framework of our own university, so that we make Amity as a major contributory to this very important area. And I'm sure all the 7 areas identified, they will be pursued, including the minor area degree program, which our honorable Chancellor has suggested. This will excite the imagination of our own students in various Amity universities.
Sharma-ji, one more to the list. One more I want to add. The internship for our students, aerospace students who want to take, he is ready to take large number of interns. So this I want to tell all our faculties.
Right.
He has already,
workshops and
Pathan has agreed to take a large number of internship for students, undergraduate, postgraduate students. So please feel free to expand that. This is the eighth one.
Mr. Pathan, would you like to say anything at this point before we go further?
It's great opportunity and amazing response, sir. I am really welcome to see so many questions here and then so many opportunities coming up. As it now, I am also writing it down, like 8 areas where we are actually looking forward to work together, partner together. Right. I really appreciate. I thank to Dr. Sridhara to introduce me here, and he'll thank to that.
So you are a wonderful person, Ramdan, Pathan, and you have tremendous strength. You need people now. You need this Amity will provide for your growth as well. You know, this is now you are going to be a multi-billion-dollar business company. Founder President's blessing. I am telling you, once your blessings of Founder President is there, you will become a multi-billionaire. So we will work with you in all these 8 areas. Now every month we will send a report to Founder President and Chancellor. This is what we have achieved in these 8 areas, And these are the people who are working on a quantitative, that is tangible outcome, which we have produced by this collaboration. We will send a report to Founder President. Professor P.V. Sharma and Sridhar have a very major responsibility now to take it forward. You people are the prime movers in this particular program. We will facilitate, catalyze, and also monitor the progress. But I'm sure you people now, we will send a monthly report to Founder on the progress on each one of these 8 points.
Great.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much indeed. With the permission of the Honorable Founder, President, and Honorable Chancellor, if you permit, I could show 2 small video clippings, just to go back to the memory lane to remind us where we really had tremendous excitement in our university in respect of using drone for such an important application as, in fact, dropping the gold medal actually.
Great.
Sorry, this is being shared. No? This convocation was witnessed by Professor C.N.R. Rao, the Bharat Ratna, in fact, and in his presence, the gold medal was awarded by Amity University, delivered by drone. And I have another small one, just to show what drones can do in the area of dropping the medicines at the right place, which Honorable Founder President has so well, in fact, said. This is from our Innovation Day, in fact, video clipping, in fact, where box of medicine being taken by.
Very good.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Great. I think give a big clap for Dr. P.V. Sharma. Dr. P.V. Sharma, I have told you, doyen of drones. Sridhar, P.V. Sharma and Pathan, we can do wonders.
Sir, sure.
We can do wonders, and we'll immediately find out from government what are the rule regulation. We will contact government that we can help in the vaccine distribution with our drones. Asimji, you know, you tell now. Asimji is an absolutely innovative person. Absolutely, it's something miraculous.
Thank you. So, no, I think, Professor Sharma, we can go towards closure of the session. I think everything has been said that had to be said, but I think we must, in closing, appreciate Founder President that whatever he picks up, he gives a momentum and energy and direction that almost what otherwise would seem impossible seems not only possible but likely. So we're always grateful, not only for Mission Drone, but for all these hundreds of initiatives that Founder is able to motivate, galvanize, and push us in the right direction and ensure success. And I know that all of you who are involved will live up to this expectation, that the responsibility that Founder has put upon your shoulders and not only meet but exceed the expectations. So, Sir Murthy, you as always have a good plan. You have been working with Founder so closely. You know his every heartbeat and thought. And Professor P.V. Sharma, wonderful. Dr. Sridhar, let us close the session and get on with the work to achieve great things with Mission Drone. Thank you so much.
I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor to give the vote of thanks.
Really speaking, it's my proud privilege to thank Honorable
Founder President would,
yes,
you would like to say a last word.
I thank M.S. Prasad, R.K. Kapoor, Manoj Pandey, P.V. Sharma to have sent me a lot of details on drone. I have to work 2-3 hours more today night. Until I have read all, they have given so much information, and I am so impatient to go through all. And Salamurthy, tomorrow your life will be more difficult. I will tell you what to do.
It's always pleasure. It's always pleasure to have instructions from you.
So P.V. Sharma ji now.
Sir, it was a great privilege and honor to have our Honorable Founder President and our Honorable Chancellor, along with the very many senior scientists of Amity University, witnessing this high impact webinar on civil applications of drone, how they are designed, developed, and deployed for very many important sensitive applications which otherwise could not have been possible without the application of drone. We are truly grateful to each one of you for your kindness in gracing this very important high impact webinar. At the same time, let me also thank Mr. Ramjan Pathan for sparing his highly valuable time to be with us. And as has been said by the Honorable Founder President as well as our Honorable Chancellor, we would work with you and we want to involve you to the best extent possible so that the promise of making impossible possible could be delivered by using drones. And hundreds of applications could, of course, be rolled out. The R&D, the capacity building, as well as, in fact, creating that excitement in the drone club. We would like to involve you everywhere. We thank you very much for your valuable time. I thank you, Dr. Sridhara, for identifying Mr. Ramjan Pathan for this very important webinar at a time when we all are struggling through to find ways and means of creating much bigger impact of science and technology for creating a brighter future for the humanity at large, and especially for our people here in India. Civil applications have grown up like anything, and I'm sure so are the military and defense applications of drone. In the years to come, maybe the future flying machines would be more autonomous than they are today. And the days of personalized flying are also not very far off. If you can take 100 kg weight using a drone, you can also take me from my office to the AKC house, or for that reason, Amethi Noida or Amethi Jaipur. Those days would be, of course, possible. So I'm sure that there will be several other areas which will be opened up by the development of drone and drone technology. I feel very happy that this webinar has been attended by very many students as well as research scholars from various Amethi universities. As many as 513, I could see the count initially, were logged into the presentation. So I feel very happy that the necessary excitement, euphoria, and interest in the drone science and technology has been created. Let me finish by saying that this is integrative science and multidisciplinary engineering, acknowledging no boundaries for applications and no horizons remaining untouched. And that is the beauty of the drone and drone technology. With these closing remarks, I once again thank you very much, Dr. Selvamurthy, Dr. Sridhara, Honorable Founder President, Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Professor Prasad, Colonel Kapoor, and a whole lot of my senior colleagues who are connected to this very important webinar. Thank you so much indeed for giving us this privilege and honor to host this webinar today. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Once again, grateful to you, all of
students and the teachers are also looking at chairperson. Extraordinary told them, because the school students are also very innovative.
Yes.
So chairperson took the interest. When she got the circular, she immediately disseminated it to the students, and Rajiv Sharma should be careful. They may come with a better idea than our university students. Okay. Good.
I'm sure the excitement for robots also began at a school level, in fact. And today robots have gone to great application. Likewise, drones, of course, are very popular at the school level. Small drones can fly even in our office. I had a small drone flying in my office. I was really scared. They said, don't worry too much. It will do no harm. It will come very close to you and take all imaging and whatnot. So I think there would be a lot of opportunities for creating this excitement in Amethi International School. And I know our Honorable Chairperson is very much always connected in the science and technology innovations and activities which can create the future-ready scientists from Amethi schools. And I think this will be a great opportunity.
Dr. Padmakali, you start immediately open elective.
Yes, sir.
Open elective course for drones.
Absolutely.
I will tell to Bravinder Shukla and to my other vice chancellors, an open elective course that everybody can take, engineering or MBA. So that will give a lot of interest and insight. So probably you should be first to start with the permission of P. Sharmaji. Open elective. Sridhar, open elective for drones.
Sure, sir. Already we have made some framework, sir, at AUH. We will share with others and then we'll get through.
Open elective followed by minor area courses around drone science and technology. I think that will be done. Surely we'll take lead in this respect.
Great.
Thank you so much once again. Thank you. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Admin, you can close the link. Thank you.
Sir, thank you.